Hey guys, this is Watchman here, and for all intensive purposes, the title of this short lesson is Affecting Reality. Okay, so how are we going to talk about affecting reality? We're going to talk about affecting reality with our minds. Yes, that's right. We're talking about affecting reality with the mind. Okay? Okay. So, how do we do this? How are we affecting reality with our minds? Um, well, we know from study that we are interdimensional beings created in the image of God. Okay, so we are interdimensional beings created in the image of God. Um, Solomon teaches us in the book of Proverbs that so as a man thinks, or for as a man thinks, so is he. So as a man thinks, so is he. So as I think, I am and I will become. Okay. So we must renew our minds like we are taught in the book of Romans by the Apostle Paul in order to be able to have the ability to have the all the consciousness, the powerful consciousness, the powerful ability to affect things with our minds, right? Right. So, whatever we believe in our minds will become a reality, and we are doing this every moment, every minute, every second of every day without even realizing it and not by choice. Okay, so whatever you're thinking about all the time is affecting your reality, and it's not even your choice. That's another layer to this whole onion, is that it's really not even your choice. Okay, you and I did not create ourselves, therefore we don't control our power, nor do we control our nature. Okay, so just like the book of Romans teaches, what we hear with our ears, okay, we will put our faith in because, as the scripture says, our faith comes by hearing. So what I hear with my ears, I will believe because my faith comes by hearing. Okay, um, so my faith comes by hearing, by what I believe with my ears. Okay, and we don't have just earthly ears, but we have spiritual ears as well. So I have my earthly ears and I have my spiritual ears, as Christ taught, he who has an ear, let him hear. Okay, he who has an ear, let him hear. And Christ was speaking on spiritual matters. So we have our earthly ears, we have our spiritual ears also, and I submit that we have the ability to hear multiple voices at any time. So, yes, we hear multiple voices. That does not make us schizophrenic. It does not make you crazy. And if this is the part where things are getting a little bit spooky for you, then go ahead and turn the video off right now and do not proceed. So we have the ability to hear multiple voices. We can hear our voice, our consciousness. That's a pretty easy one to grasp. We hear the voice of devils, demons, wicked spirits. Okay, so we can hear these voices as well, telling us to do things that are wrong, submitted evil ideas and thoughts to us. And we also hear the voice of God. Okay, so if if we are, so we hear the voice of God, we hear the voice of demons, we hear our voice, so we're hearing multiple voices. So how this all ties in is whatever we choose to listen to with our ears, we will put our faith in. Okay, whether that's our voice, the voice of devils that will tell lies about us, to even to ourselves, have us believing things about ourselves that are not true, or we could choose to listen to the voice of God and become transformed in his image, to become more powerful in the image of God, so to speak. So what we choose to listen to is what we have put our faith in, and that is the premise and the reason the scriptures say that if that we must resist the devil and he shall flee. So if we resist the devil, he shall flee. We resist those voices, those wicked voices, they shall flee. Okay? And the reason being is because we don't need to be putting our faith in that we don't need to be putting our faith in what we're hearing with these wicked voices. Okay? So, whenever we have afflictions, so whenever we have like physical afflictions like disease and things like that happen in our bodies, so we blindness, crippleness, all sorts of things, right? So when we have these afflictions, this is almost always sustained or manifested in the mind. Okay? So the reason that is because that is what we believe. Okay? It has been long proven that what affects your mind affects your body, and the two are intricately tied together. If you are a person who worries all the time, you are definitely going to be more susceptible to diseases and problems, and just simple science proves that. Okay? So it is important to notice that when Jesus healed people in the scriptures, you can always find an evil spirit leaving that person. Okay, so when Christ heals people, you see an evil spirit fleeing that person. And the reason that you see that is because where the spirit resided in the mind, affecting the belief of that person is what affected their body. So the way Christ was able to heal people so quickly and so instantaneously is because he was able to change their belief system in a moment by casting that wicked spirit out, speaking to them, okay, replacing that with truth and righteousness, and thereby affecting them performing miracles within an instant. Okay? So, Jesus, it's also important to notice that Jesus tells people that according to your faith, you are healed. According to your faith, this happens. According to your faith, you received healing. Okay? That's because you believe it. To have faith is to believe. Okay? So according to what we believe, we are healed. Okay? So when you can control the mind, you can affect reality and the body, for example. Okay? So when I can control my mind, I can affect this reality around me in even a stronger way, and my body as well. Okay? Now, the reason that we don't just think of something just off a whim and it become true in a reality, so to speak, like healing, for example, we've been talking about healing and other things as well, is because we have not only the conscious thought, which would be the thought right that I can grab a hold of right now, but we have unconscious thought. Now, the unconscious thought makes up a far greater portion of our brain's power, our mind's energy, than our conscious thought does. The unconscious thought, what is kind of behind the veil but always happening at the same time in our minds, has been programmed to believe something different. Okay, that's where our doubt lies, in our subconscious thought. That's where your doubt is. It's in your subconscious thought. Your faith and what we want to put our faith in is in our conscious thought. Okay? This is very easily represented with a basin of dirty water. Okay? So the basin represents the mind. Okay? And the dirty water represents the unrenewed mind, so to speak. So you have the unrenewed mind and the unrenewed thoughts, which is the dirty water. The basin is the mind itself, which contains these things. Okay? And by pouring in truth, by choosing to listen to and believe truth, we can affect the thoughts of our subconscious, thereby causing us to become more powerful as interdimensional beings created in the image of God. Walk with me here. So here I have a simple basin of water with, I'll be honest with you, it's a Coca-Cola. So I poured a Coca-Cola into this water right here, and this basin represents the mind, this cola water, which is dark, make sure you get that on the camera there, is dark, and you can see that. And isn't that a representation of our dark, unrenewed mind? I think it really it's really an easy one. You know, this fountain here represents hearing the voice of God. Okay, so as we expose ourselves to the voice of God, and we choose to stop listening to the voice of demons and devils, the voice of wicked spirits and lies, things that would want to come against me, basically so that I would put my faith in that and cause that to become a reality, we are going to choose to listen to the voice of God and the voice of righteousness, okay? And as that comes into our minds, our thoughts will become renewed, just like this water is becoming renewed right here in this basin of water, right before our eyes. And this is a representation of how the mind works. Okay? So, did you come here? And just like that, no longer do we have a nasty basin of cola water, but we have pure thought and righteousness. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Stay tuned.